years before a huge controversy forced Marvel Comics to change the Punisher's iconic skull logo and rewrite the character's history. Captain America predicted this would happen during a conversation with Frank Castle. In the midst of the first superhuman civil war, Cap was forced to recruit the Punisher to his side, a choice he would later regret. But Steve also pointed out that the main reason he does not like the Vigilante has to do with the fact that he is not just a psychopath, he is an idea that can inspire others, just like Captain America is. In 2019, Marvel openly addressed a real-life issue with its most controversial character, the Punisher, whose logo had been adopted by groups advocating for increased violence from law enforcement and right-wing fringes. In The Punisher No. 13 by Matthew Rosenberg, Szymon Kudranski and Antonio Fabela, Frank Castle tells two police officers who believe in him to stop doing that, and to look to Captain America for a role model. Not long after, The Punisher's co-creator Jerry Conway weighed in the discussion, reiterating that Frank Castle is a criminal, and as such he should not be embraced as a symbol by those in charge of upholding the law. However, these same feelings had already been expressed by Frank Castle's own idol, Steve Rogers, many years before. During Civil War, Captain America's faction was desperate for recruits, so he turned to the Punisher as a solider who would do the job he was asked to, under the agreement that he would only use non-lethal weapons. In Punisher, Nightmare No. 3, by Scott M. Gimple, Mark Teixeira, and Frank D'Armata, published in 2013, a long time after Civil War, Frank reminisces about that conversation with Cap. The Sentinel of Liberty explained clearly why he did not like the Punisher, not because he is a psychopath and a criminal, but because of his symbol. The skull turns Frank from an outlaw vigilante into an idea, something that can inspire other people to follow his bloody path. Captain America, as a living symbol himself, knows perfectly well how dangerous these can be in the wrong hands. Steve Rogers would soon come to regret his decision to enlist Frank, when the Punisher murdered two criminals who wanted to join the anti-registration faction. Captain America's words also foreshadowed the real-world controversies that would push Marvel Comics to relaunch The Punisher in 2022 with a new series where Frank Castle gets rid of his iconic skull logo and joins the sect of assassins called the Hand. It is also pretty significant that the earliest warning towards the misuse of the Punisher's logo came from Steve Rogers. Frank has a controversial relationship with Captain America. He's idolized him as a hero since he was a child, but at the same time knows he will never be anything like him, to the point that he let himself get beaten up without throwing a punch during their famous confrontation in Civil War. Fans of The Punisher had mixed reactions to Marvel's relaunch of the character, not just because of the new logo, but mostly due to the significant changes made to the Punisher's lore and backstory. Regardless of what opinions each reader may have on Marvel's decision, Captain America's words of warning from 9 years earlier still ring true. A symbol is a powerful tool that can inspire people, for good or for bad, and the Punisher is no exception.